Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome into episode 120 of the Second and One podcast. Joining you today is myself, Shiz Prescott. Round of applause. No round of applause from me? No?
No,
Okay. We got
I don't know who that is.
Mike McCartney, intentionally spelled wrong. It's supposed to be McCarthy, but
no, it's
we,
not.
we, we, we have not gotten that fixed yet. Maybe one day. And we also have Mr. Ransom. Fellas, how y'all feeling on this glorious evening?
Man, I already know what's happening tonight, so I'm getting drunk.
Mazel tov. And I didn't know that you changed your name to Shiz Prescott. That's what a coincidence.
Oh man, I ain't tell you about that.
Now
Nah?
you was legally Shiz Bayless. Now you Shiz Prescott. All right.
Tiny, what are you drinking?
I'm actually
yeah.
drinking something that my brother Charles gave me.
What
Okay.
else?
This is
The mead.
I'm finishing off the mead, the Odin Skull.
That's the blood of the Vikings.
Every Sunday or every time I come down to Charles' house, we always exchange beers.
Okay.
It's become a tradition, and
That's right.
it's a great thing. You know, we drink craft beer. We don't drink that piss water Heineken or Corona or any shit like that.
I mean, I wouldn't
don't-
label it. I wouldn't label Heineken as piss, but
We don't drink the
drink that
Chinese
bullshit, bro.
Corona, the Chinese beer.
Yeah, we drink we drink, real beer. So
Yeah. All right. So how this podcast works? We talk mostly about sports, hip hop, politics, and everything in between. We give it to you raw, straight raw, no chaser. If we offend you, we apologize slightly. Usually, how we kick things off, we have a taking a shot segment where we give a bold prediction about one of the topics I just named. Collectively, we do about 80%, but when you're taking a shot, you're bound to have a hiccup here and there. But this episode, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to go right into the topic of the hour, the topic of the day, the topic of the week, the topic of the month, possibly. Dak Prescott has finally ended the 2-year, going on 3-year debacle of not being signed long term.
That's a good word.
And he has
Debacle.
come to terms with the Dallas Cowboys finally. 4 years, $160 million, $126 million guaranteed. Mr. Ransom, I'm gonna kick it off to you, man. You've been the biggest Dak supporter, or you've been the biggest proponent of getting this contract done. So I'm gonna go to you first. Then we're gonna go to Mike McCartney, and then we're gonna circle back to me because I got a long list of things I want to
Alright.
discuss
Oh
about it.
my
But but Mr.
Alright.
Ransom, the floor is yours, my brother.
Alright.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, first of all, this is the first day of the rest of Shiz's life. This signing day. So, secondly, I want to say, yeah, this is a lesson, and I told you this. I told Vit this the other day. This is a lesson in pride and procrastination, and both will bite you in the ass in the end. And the ass that it bit this time was Gerald Jones. This deal could have got done 2 years ago. Could have got done 2 years ago, but he procrastinated, and then it became a pride thing. We all know Jerry has great pride. We've seen it time and time again. It's going all the way back to the Jimmy Johnson firing. He's a man of great pride, too much pride sometimes. So this deal was a long time in the making. It could have been a lot more team-friendly, a lot easier, and it is a team-friendly contract when you break it down, but this could have been a lot easier done, and I think that there's blame to be laid at multiple people's steps, but in this particular instance, it's mostly Gerald, because you had the power 2 years ago to sign this kid. You had especially last season, you had the chance, and he gambled on it. And the second Dak's ankle broke, he had his deal. Whatever he wanted, whatever the terms were, whatever the years were, Jerry lost all leverage because we saw what happened to the Cowboys. Much to Shiz's dismay, the Andy Dalton experiment failed. Much to his dismay, and
Didn't get a fair shot. but
not
go
surprised.
ahead.
Oh, okay, okay.
bullshit's ass.
And Trump got he got cheated out of office too. Sure, both both those things.
Both-
and
both his mans.
And Black China married Rob Kardashian for love. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. So all three things are true there. Yeah. So you got to realize that Dak had all the leverage in this situation the second he broke his ankle, because that team, I always said he was the heart of the Cowboys. I didn't know how much of a big heart of the Cowboys he was until this season. That ship sinks without him. They're not a contender without him. They weren't a contender this year. They wouldn't have been a contender if they had even made the playoffs. I wouldn't have given him a snowball's chance in hell. He got the deal he wanted because of that injury. And I think even without the injury, I think it would have been a little closer to that, but it might not have been as bad in this situation. It might not. He got exactly what he wanted. And now we know what he was asking for the whole time. Remember, Shiz, we always went back and forth, but nobody knows what he wants. Nobody knows what he's asking for. It was never publicly disclosed, ever, in writing. Now we know. They gave him that number probably a year ago, and they just sat on it, and boom, got exactly what he wanted. I don't think this is a good model for all quarterback negotiations and contract negotiations. I just think that this was a rare situation that he got injured at. There's no good time to get injured, but in his negotiation platform was the right time to get a horrific injury because it got him exactly what he always wanted, and he went from fourth rounder to a 9-figure dude, man. Like, props to him. And I think the Cowboys will be better off for it moving forward. As I've said before, the Cowboys front office is like the Wolf of Wall Street. They can manipulate a deal and shift money around and everything, and I think they will here over the years.
Yeah, but they've already
begun. Yeah.
Yeah, they already started doing that.
So, I'll give Jerry his props there. He is a wizard of the books. He can cook the books. So he's Bobby Flaying it, and that's great. So, but I think the reason why we never heard the number and the years is because this was it the whole time, and it was just going back and forth. They wanted a 5-year deal. Dak wanted a 4-year deal. They wanted a lot more guaranteed money. They wanted it, a little bit spread out. And in the end, that injury really kind of made them say, well, you can either take it or leave it, Jerry. And I think finally Jerry, I would hate to be around Jerry Jones that night of that signing because Jerry Jones hates to do things not the way Jerry Jones wanted to do them. And this was obviously not the way he wanted to do it. Otherwise, he'd have done it years ago. And hopefully, he's too old and too rich to learn from his mistakes, but hopefully other teams will learn. Pride and procrastination is the lesson of the day. So, with that, Mike McCartney.
McCartney, let's hear it.
Man, I mean, I hate the Cowboys, so I hope their plane crashes. But
wow,
besides that,
I mean,
wow.
Hey, man, no, I think last year just really showed how important Dak was to that team or is to that team. And see, it's right. Breaking his ankle really put the Cowboys in a horrible position because you never want to put a guy on a franchise tag and then him get hurt and then you not do something, good for him because when they put Dak on the franchise tag, it wasn't like he held out. It wasn't like he was this, monster in the media or anything like that. He just showed up to work and played, on the tag. Like, he did right by the team in that sense.
That's right.
And then, lo and behold, bad for him. He goes out and he has that horrific injury. That was bad. To see him holding his calf like that and his ankle just hanging like that was bad. But the Cowboys, they had to. Like, Jerry had to pay him, and I just think it's like Dak deserved his. Zeke didn't deserve all that money, but Jerry thought he knew what he was doing, so he paid him. Amari didn't deserve all that money, but he thought he knew what he was doing, so he paid him.
Yep.
So I don't think Dak's contract is going to be the issue. It's those other two contracts that's going to be the issue. I think Zeke is going to be better this year. I don't know if Amari is going to be too much better this year. But going forward, the way that the deal is structured, I think they do have some leverage and some room to get some free agents and keep one or two of the playmakers that they had on the defensive side of the ball. Because the defensive side of the ball is really their issue. Like, that's always kind of been their issue. That back end of that defense, that secondary was horrible. So, and then they have what are they? 8th in the pick? In the
10.
No, 10. Yeah, because they're right.
10.
They're before the 49ers.
Yeah.
So, if Patrick Surtain III is there, boom, you can get him. Patrick Peterson, he is going to be a free agent. He's not the overall fix, but he is definitely a veteran that can lead that secondary. So, in my eyes, the deal had to get done. Like C said, it was whatever Dak wanted he was going to get because of the situation. I think the deal kind of does help out the Cowboys in a sense where it looks to be like it's front-loaded. So, a lot of it is guaranteed money, so they can go out and get one or two other pieces. But it's also interesting. It's interesting to know because, like C said, they could have did this last year, right? Or they could have did this before the Patrick Mahomes deal, and I don't think it would have been as expensive. Jerry thought he was the Wolf on Wall Street, negotiator of a lifetime. He waited. Now Dak is the highest paid quarterback in the league.
He gambled, man.
Yeah, is Dak a great quarterback? Yeah, he is. Should he be the highest paid quarterback in the league?
Yeah, probably not.
No, I don't think so. The market says he is, so he is. It's just in the situation he's put in. But you got to think too, like they're still going to have to go out and pay Lamar Jackson. They're still going to have to go out and pay Josh Allen, and they're still going to have to go out and pay Baker Mayfield. I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are a little better than Dak. I don't think Baker is at all. So we'll see.
Baker's a prime candidate for that franchise tag, but I mean,
Yes.
Yeah,
he still has a
100%.
year or two before that becomes an issue. But he is a prime candidate for that franchise tag because if
Absolutely.
he's going to want market value, he's not.
Yeah, he's not getting
that's
that.
going to
I think
be.
I think we need to see him in another year of Stefanski's offense because Baker didn't do that bad last year. I mean, he got him to the playoffs. He was the quarterback out there on the field. So I mean, he did his job. But I just think he has a history of not. I think he has a history of a lot of hype and not living up to that hype when he was with Freddie Kitchens. Granted, it was Freddie Kitchens, and when he was with
and Hugh,
and
Big
Hugh.
Hugh.
Yo,
Big Hugh. I mean, I
Hugh.
definitely,
So-
I definitely think he is. I agree 100%. He's a. If I ever saw a quarterback that's a starter, that's a franchise tag. Got a target on his back. It's definitely Baker. And you have more of the argument with that. He's not worth the money than with a Dak Prescott situation. Like the argument you used with Dak the last 2 years is perfect for Baker Mayfield. Really, when you win, like if you look back at it now, like he's the guy that you're like, yeah, I don't think he's big in those moments, or I don't think he's got the heart, or I don't think he's got the guts. It's not him, it's the other guy. So we'll see what happens with him.
yeah, man, I don't know though because Shiz wanted Derek Carr.
That's
Hey,
we'll
so-
never forget that.
so-
Never,
so-
never
okay.
forget that. Never. I
Can
got
I-
exact.
Before I get bashed, can I give
If
my
I-
I'm about to say,
Hold on, Shiz is not, we got a bet that if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl, the quote that Shiz said that fateful night is gonna get tattooed on him,
there we go, baby.
like
So-
that. And I have it right here, the infamous quote. I'll say it after Shiz is done.
All right,
Shiz
so
is a no, go ahead, Shiz.
So first of all, for Dak,
Tell them to bring me my money.
Dak,
Mazel tov.
congratulations, Dak. You and your agent played it very well. I can't the way that they played it, I thought they was actually going to push this out because even though if you get franchised now, you have until July 15th to actually get the deal finalized or it goes into the next season. So kudos to Dak and his agent and the Cowboys getting an agreement done now. As far as, this whole contract and everything, I'm glad that the number is the number. It is what it is. When I first saw the number, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money, $40 million a year. I'm not sure if Dak is worth that much. But once they broke down the cap, the impacts on the cap, I'm cool with it because the first year it's going to be anywhere from $22 to $25 million on the cap, very manageable. And then the following year it's going to be in the low 30s. That's also very manageable. Once they get to year 3 and 4, that's when things get kind of tricky, but you can always restructure.
Yep.
The Joneses always are good for that. So at the end of the day, I'm cool and I'm a little bit relieved that Dak. We got this thing like this whole thing is done now. We can move forward. We can focus on the defense. We can focus on getting this team to the best level to compete as possible because if this would have lingered on through the draft, like we would have been hearing, are the Cowboys going to draft a quarterback?
God, yeah.
Is it going to be Is it going to be Mac Jones? Is it going to be Trey Lance? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Are they going to make a trade for him?
Yeah.
We would have been hearing that. And then if they didn't take a quarterback in the draft, it would have been, are the Cowboys going to trade for this quarterback? Are they going to give up something for Sam Darnold or Derek Carr or whatever? So the fact that they got a long-term deal, a lot of that nonsense is gone. So now we can just literally focus on the draft. I'll admit that, I was
You were scared.
I was very, very against
wasn't
signing.
scared. He was very against.
I was very against signing Dak to a long-term deal.
For 2 years.
For 2 years, I came up with the Andy Dalton theory. He didn't get a fair shot, but
God.
that
Trump, yo, Shiz Trump.
the Andy Dalton.
He did get a fair shot. And
He
got
didn't get a
concussed.
fair shot because
Donald Sheard.
Because Dak was on the books for $30+ million. That $30 million could have been used on players. Also, the offensive
So
line.
they should have got rid of him? They should have got rid of Dak? That's the answer to your plan?
That's what I'm saying. He didn't get a fair shot.
So
That's
wait
what I'm
a minute.
saying.
That's so shiz. Your plan was to get rid of Dak and go with Andy Dalton full bore.
No,
Well, you can't have both.
I'm
though.
saying if you want to give him a fair shot,
You'd have to have gotten rid
that
of
would
Dak.
have been the fair shot because
Well,
you would
you
have had
would've-
$30 million to spend.
Also,
The offensive line got hurt, didn't get a fair shot. But you know what? Those days are done. Why are we talking about the past? The past is the past.
I just want to say one thing that I hear what you're saying. So, but when I made those excuses for Dak in the regular season, like when people were getting hurt and the offensive line was banged up, and you said he has no heart.
I never in my life said Dak ain't got heart. I never said that. I never said that.
You know what I mean? Like, he's no good. All right, excuse me. He's no good.
Excuse
me. Pardon me. Let's just go to regular. He's no good, which you've said numerous times.
I said he ain't good enough. I did say that. I said that.
So when you
So
said
if he
ain't
wasn't good
enough,
enough then, why is he good enough now?
Because I saw what happened when he went down.
If you can't marry the one you want, be happy with the one you with, right? Shiz?
Once he went down, that was a rude awakening for me. Like, yo,
that's fair. That's fair.
That was an eye opener for me because I thought, as far as throwing the football, I thought Andy Dalton had the same amount of touch on the football as Dak. I thought Dak was always the better athlete. He was the better quarterback, but I thought that the way this offense is structured, that we wouldn't have that much of a fall off without him. Clearly, I was wrong. I admit to my faults. Every man, he can make a mistake. As long as he own up to it, he's still a man.
I respect that 100%. But you go.
He was out there openly disrespecting Dak.
Absolutely. Bro, you said he wasn't good enough like 100 times.
I was saying that we shouldn't pay a quarterback that's anywhere from 7 to 12, pay him top 2 money. That was my whole argument. But now that we're here.
Now he got top 1 money.
Hold on. So, Shiz, do you remember the quote from Tuesday, July 14th at 11:18 p.m.? I do quote, he won't sniff 40 million.
I don't recall that because I was probably 13 Michelob Ultras in.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's here forever in stone. How do you feel about that quote today?
I was wrong. And
you know, that's fair. You know what?
I was wrong.
That's actually fair. That's actually fair that you end if you were 13 Michelob's deep. I'm willing to.
Y'all start pissing me off. I'm liable to say anything. I'm liable to say anything.
I'm not even gonna bring up the Magna Carta Holy Grail quote. I meant every word of that C quote. Like that, you literally you stood on that, and the next day you was like, all right, I was a little. Toe up that night.
Yeah,
like.
Once I go from Michelob Ultra 12 to 13, things just fall apart.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
But
as long as you wasn't texting while you was in Walmart, you should be good.
Come on, man. I'm always out. That's my second home. I haven't been there this week, though, so round of applause for that. But no, hold on. I have a question, though. So everybody keeps talking about if we signed Dak 2 years ago, we would have been able to avoid this contract.
Absolutely, because the market wasn't as high.
I get that.
Okay, cool.
Now, if we signed him 2 years ago to a 4-year deal, he's almost ready to be re-signed again. So this issue would have been coming up right away.
No, so 2 years ago, so he's still got 2 years left.
The way this contract is structured is that the first 3 years he's going to get a nice chunk of money, and then that last year he's going to be paid well below market value. I'm not sure if they would have structured it the same way 2 years ago.
Who knows?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that now that we sign him now, we can look forward to 3 years of peaceful football of no contract negotiations. Yeah. If we signed him 2 years ago, that contract talk would have started lingering already again. But you know what?
2 full years out with a big deal that would
after this season. After this season, it would have came out.
It was also with the last year of his deal. Well, that every athlete is like that, especially if they're doing well.
Typical.
But that's also contingent on his play. Like if he's playing, like if he got hurt. Now we don't know if he had gotten hurt, and I don't think he would have because that was like a freak occurrence. Everything had to be in that moment at that time. So I don't know that he would. I doubt that he would have got hurt the way he did. So maybe we would be talking about it because he would be like playing exceedingly well, or we wouldn't be talking about it. But that all depends on his play. So to go back and say, well, what would have happened then? We don't know. All I do know is that it would have been a cheaper contract because mathematically the ceiling was lower 2 years ago than it is now. That's just the simple facts.
Yeah, that's true. But
but
the thing is, since
he's
he's signing 4-year deals instead of like 5-6 year deals,
he wants another payday.
Yeah. So The thing with Mahomes, he signed a 10-year deal, and
which is
going,
essentially the 12-year extension, really, when you look at it.
Like once Lamar gets paid, Josh Allen gets paid, and then like Justin Herbert gets paid like 2 more years down the line. Yeah. I would imagine Patrick Mahomes restructures because once that TV money comes in, like you're going to see quarterbacks getting paid like 55, close to $60 million, and Patrick Mahomes at 45. He's gonna want to restructure, but that's just like a whole other topic.
But, that's years removed. Too.
Yeah, that's years removed. But I don't think the Chiefs are going to win another Super Bowl. I think last year in that Super Bowl, Tampa Bay gave you the formula to stop that offense.
But
and that defense was never good. I mean, it was good enough.
I think
I just think that defense played the game of a lifetime, and Devin White played like a man possessed.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are right back in the Super Bowl next year in the AFC. The only legitimate threat, in my opinion, is the Bills.
If the Bills get a running game, then they might have a.
I think the Bills. Do you think the Bills will be able to? Do you think the Bills overachieved a little bit, or you think that's sustainable?
They overachieved a little bit with their record. They overachieved.
I think they're sustainable, and they just released John Brown. That was like a couple hours ago.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he's
but you know exactly pedestrian at best. But no, I think there's a lot of teams coming up in the AFC that you still got to be cautious about. Even though the Titans exited pretty early last year, I think you still got to be cautious of that because they have a winning formula. I think they just got to get better on the defensive side of the ball because Derrick Henry will he'll just wear you down.
But how much longer do you think Derrick Henry? Because he had 2,000 yards this year. He had almost he was the rushing champion the year before.
1,800 and change the year before.
I mean,
you can't sustain that.
That's hard to sustain in my opinion.
Especially for a guy that big.
I'm about to say he's a bigger guy, and I think the way that people maintain their bodies nowadays, I think he could give it to you like 2 more years. I think he can continue to do that for 2 more
barring
years.
injury, yeah.
Barring injury.
You can't
do that.
Yeah, I think the Titans are what they are. Like, I think
they are what they are too.
I think they are what they are, and I think last year was kind of like a filling out year with that Tannehill back there because that was the first full year that he got. I think if they add some things in free agency, I think they become a better team. So I think you have them. You always have the Ravens. The Ravens are a good team.
I don't know. I got a weird feeling about them.
I think Lamar just has to take that next step, or I think they have to either commit to him being that like a Kaepernick, Kaepernick's my guy, but he couldn't read defenses. He would step back. If that first read wasn't there, he was taking off and he was going to the house. I think Lamar has to be like that, or he has to really elevate his passing game. And
I think if you give the Ravens a true number 1, then we'll be able to better judge them. But
I don't know.
With like Marquise Brown as your number 1, he's a really good player, but he's not a true number 1 in my opinion.
Number 2. I think they need a big possession receiver, kind of like how they try to do with Dez. But I think Dez is too far removed from the game.
Yeah, maybe they can go get like Galladay or somebody like that.
I think they need to go. If I saw a team that can reach.
But the thing about it is, wide receiver. Do you really want to go to the Ravens, knowing Lamar is the type of quarterback that he is?
That's why you got to draft the guy. That's why you got to draft the guy. Yeah. What I was going to say is if I ever saw a team that's set up and they really don't have holes, they can kind of reach for a flashy guy. Like, very few teams can do that. Like, you know what? We're pretty much set here. Like the Bills, them. There's maybe one other team I'd have to really think about it that could literally say, I think we're set at almost every position, at least adequately. Let's reach for a guy in the draft. Let's really go get a guy that we don't necessarily need or want. We just like him. I think the Ravens are set enough to go get whoever's the best receiver, go jump up and get him because I think I don't know. I just got this weird feeling about the Ravens that we've seen the best of them, and we're not going to see that Ravens squad again. I feel like that was it. They peaked, and that was it. Like, they'll be a good team, but world-beating team again, I don't think we'll see that. But I could be wrong.
So I think with the Chiefs, I don't think there's a team. Well, everything is contingent on what happens with Deshaun Watson. Like, if he goes to Miami, things change and shift a little bit. I think really that's like the only location that he can go to in the AFC that will really make me like say, okay, we have a legit like contender here because
I don't think that makes them overnight contenders though.
Depending on what they have to give up for Deshaun too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they still have Tua Viola, whatever the fuck his name is. They still got him.
Viola Davis.
Yeah, Viola. They still got Viola Davis.
Tua Viola Davis.
He
Yo.
still got two little Viola Davis. Hey, it's the beer.
Shit.
It's the beer. It still got two Laiova Katunga, and so if they move him
Oh God.
in the Deshaun trade and don't have to give up too many draft picks, maybe they can come back up and get that the kid from Alabama because they need that wide receiver to go with Deshaun.
The Dolphins are not a complete team.
Exactly. So it depends on what they have to give up to get him.
Their defense is legit.
Yeah,
But they're not a complete
offense-
football team.
Their
No.
I'm talking about offense, though.
Their offense, they can use another receiver to go along with Devontae Parker. They can use a back. So they
Aaron
have
Jones. I'm hearing.
because they have money. So
They could get get Aaron Jones.
if they get Deshaun and add a quality back like Aaron Jones and maybe pick up a receiver in the second round or because they have 2 first rounds, but it's probably going to cost them both.
The Texans are going to make it as expensive as humanly possible to get him.
because the Texans said they're not taking trades for him, but then didn't they say they are?
They don't know what they're doing. Like
I don't care what they say in public. Behind the scenes, they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him because he's never going to play for the Texans again.
Yeah, it would be bizarre to have Deshaun Watson just like inactive and just not playing when you could have used him to get all these assets to help you this season. Yeah. You're just going to be, stubborn and have him deactive or like have him non-active and just at home like that. How does that help you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, because you don't know. Well, I mean, you do know, but it's just like so what are you going to do? I don't even know who their backup is. Like, are you going to go from Deshaun to the backup, or are you going to draft a quarterback in the draft, which automatically puts you in the running to get rid of Deshaun? But at that point, if you do that, you wasted an opportunity to go higher in the draft to get that quarterback that you want, depending on who you traded for. You know what I'm saying?
But it is the Texans, though. So
yeah, but I say it is the Texans.
They don't make good. They don't have a history of good decisions at all.
They need to hire me as a GM.
I do want to say. Well, I do want to say one thing about Deshaun Watson, and this might be a hot take to some, but prudent.
Here we go.
Well, listen. This isn't a Shiz Bayless take. This is a regular take.
Come on, my name is Shiz Prescott. Thank you.
I forgot. I didn't know. I forgot that you joined the program. All right, so I want to. It might be prudent thinking to some though. I do blame a small amount of this on Deshaun Watson because this is all I'm going to say. So you were drafted to the Texans. He's been there for years and years now. You signed this big deal. Okay, great. But now you're complaining about this. Okay, fine. If you want to go, you're going to go. And I understand some of the reasons. It's a cultural thing down there. So that's not good. But that's the thing though. You're a smart individual. I know he is. He seems like a really sharp guy. You signed that deal knowing the organization, and you didn't just get there last week. You didn't just show up last month and they're like, hey, do you want to get this big deal? He's like, oh, I'm new here. You're already giving me this money? I'll take it. No, you've been there for years. You've been in the building. You've been in the front offices day after day, year after year. You didn't know that it was like this? For 1 second, I thought Shiz was taking a slug out of a bottle in 1942. I was like, my man. I was like,
no,
he's celebrating. He's still celebrating.
Only on Sundays.
But when he signed it, and now I hear this, like I always think about stuff like this. Like I go back to the beginning. Like, okay, so when you signed the deal, did you just arrive to Houston last week, Deshaun? Like, you knew what this front office was like. You knew what the organization was like, and you still signed the deal. If you really were that upset and that pissed off, and if you really knew your surroundings, you never would have signed that deal, and you wouldn't be in this situation then.
I think they lied to him when he signed that contract.
But he's been there for years, though. You can't lie to he was there. You can't
I think he panicked. Like, so
why would he panic? He's a top 3 quarterback.
Because when he already's coming off a significant injury. He's already been hurt.
But he played a season. He played a season, and it was his best statistical season.
Understand that. Yeah. But the thought of getting hurt again before your big payday probably was messing with him because because I think he was only coming off of his 3rd year. So he had another year, then he had his 5th year, and then they could have played the franchise. Like, it could have got messy for a couple more years. So I think when they offered him that $39 million compared to that rookie deal he was on, he panicked. So he was probably thinking, do I take the long-term money now, or do I play the long game, play out my contract, and try to go elsewhere, even though it still might take 3 years to get there. So that's what I think ultimately happened. He panicked, signed long term, and here we are today.
That could be, and if so, I'm sure he's kicking himself right now.
Oh yeah, he hates himself now because he's trapped. But I think he's going to get out.
He's going to get out.
He's going to get out one way or another. But I think the reason he signed is because he literally panicked. Like he's like, man,
all right.
like if you see,
that's a good panic to stumble in on millions of dollars though.
Yeah, like
it's a good panic, but if you're playing in Houston,
so just put yourself in those shoes. Like you've already been injured badly once, and a team comes at you with $120 million. You're going to sign.
Yeah,
how much was guaranteed of it?
Over 100.
Oh yeah, well over 100.
So
maybe like 104 or something like 114, something like that.
Yeah, so that's what happened. But real quick, we going back to Dak and the Cowboys.
Sure.
I think this might be this next season is the lowest cap number that Dak is going to be on the Cowboys team, probably going forward for the rest of his career until he gets like older and starts taking like lesser deals.
Yeah.
So for the Cowboys, this will probably be their best shot to do something special in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And for this team, like they need to go defense in the draft, go defense in free agency. But this is a scenario that I fear may happen. I think if like Kyle Pitts is available at 10, Jerry, he won't be able to help himself.
Wait, you talk about Kyle Pitts from
Florida.
The tight end that I've been talking to you about for like 9-10 months now? Take him.
Bro, our
defense. What do you mean, bro?
Is that what they need, though?
Well, all right. Well, I don't want. Well, listen, Shiz, you know I've been talking to you about Kyle Pitts.
No, you have it
forever.
And the thing is, like,
since like last year.
The thing about that is, I wasn't sure where we were going to land in the draft.
Okay.
Now that we're 10, it's an outside shot to get him, just like it was an outside shot to get CeeDee Lamb last year.
Yeah.
So if he's there, even though we need defense,
you got to take him.
That's a thing.
But I will say this, and honestly, if this was maybe 1 year ago, I definitely would have said something different. Now that you signed your guy for top quarterback money, you got to protect your investment. Just like in business, protect your investments. So what does that mean? You got to get a left tackle. You got to draft a top-tier left tackle because you're not going to get – and there's 3 positions where you do not go cheap, and the left tackle is one of them. So you're going to get what you paid for. You're going to get production and protection that you paid for or traded for or drafted for. I don't need a 4th-round left tackle protecting my $40 million a year man. I need a top-tier guy. So I kind of feel like we don't – that first-round pick should not be defense. That should be the best left tackle available because we need to protect Dak now. Now we paid Dak. We need to protect Dak because Tyron Smith, he can go, sell George Foreman grills. He's done. He's been done for 2 years now, and, he was expensive, so we couldn't get rid of him because of the cap. But now we're just going to have to just goodbye. Just get rid of him. Say goodnight. His back has been dead for 5 years already. But, yeah, if Kyle Pitts is available, I would take him. I'd love Kyle Pitts.
So one of our good friends, John Vitalone, friend of the show, he's been on here before.
This is gonna be hilarious.
We tried to get him on for this evening, but he had previous obligations, work, so he couldn't get on. So he gave me about a 2-minute sound bite. I haven't listened to this yet, so we're going to react to this together as a family. Let's hear.
Oh my God!
All right, let me just start off by saying that the Dak sign.
Oh, that was classic.
Wow. That was it.
Come on, Shiz.
Hold on.
Fired.
That Walmart audio.
Yeah.
See, this is why we can't. This is why there's only. I guess it's a 2 maximum. Hold on. All right, we'll circle back to it, but we'll get back to it. But he's a resident Cowboy fan.
Absolutely.
He was on Seaside in regards to signing him long term, and you guys won. I can't really argue against it. It just
You're
is
not
what
arguing
it is.
against it. You're on the side now. Look at your last name.
Hey, he's what was the guy? Benedict Arnold.
Yeah, it's Benedict Arnold.
Down with the Redcoats now. He was a
Yeah,
Patriot one day, a Redcoat the other.
You're a Redcoat.
Redcoat shiz. Like,
Yeah, y'all talk. I'm gonna get this shit to work. Go ahead.
Listen. I was wrong about a lot of things in sports, but I did know that Dak was special to that Cowboys. I'm not saying special, period. He is special, period, because of his intangibles. But like what he brings to the Cowboys, he is the lifeblood of them, bro. Like there's no way around it. So like, in another situation, I might have been on your side, Shiz, but like because of the man who he is and what he brings to the table off the field, like not on the field, but intangibles, not physical abilities. I could not get behind him from day one. I just couldn't, man.
He's a man of God. You can't go against a man
He
of
is.
God.
You can't. Shiz, you should know about that. You cannot do that.
Yeah, I'm always a man of faith, man. That's me.
You didn't have any faith in Dak though, but who?
But
it's all right.
I was with the numbers. It was a numbers game with me. It was a numbers game.
Shiz is not for the progression of black men.
Come on.
Oh well, I'm not gonna comment on that.
He's not. We know that.
I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. Shiz,
So-
I would
so-
hope that that's an erroneous
All
statement.
right.
Shiz.
Let me
It
just
is.
start off by saying that the Dak signing, it was happening. All right, it was happening this year. We all knew where it was going to be around. The Cowboys, they moved some money around. Put a lot of it into the signing bonus.
Sounds
He has a
tired.
lot guaranteed. It's over a short time. It's what both sides wanted. We knew it was going to happen. There was no way. There was no way around this because once Dak went down last year, I mean, we had Ben DiNucci, Garrett Gilbert, Andy Dalton. Like these guys.
Shiz, man.
I mean, who else is out there? Let's be real. Who else is out there that could quarterback this team?
Derek Carr.
There's no one. You want to say that Andy Dalton had a shot at it, and he did, but guess what? He stunk. He absolutely stunk.
He
Was the
had a fair
offensive
shot.
line banged
Shiz
up?
Bayless.
Yeah, sure. Did Zeke have a down year because of that too? Yeah. But Andy Dalton looked every bit of a backup as you could think he would be.
I will say I was very disappointed in Andy.
So am I happy with the signing?
against the
Yeah.
Giants.
Everyone
last
wants
game.
to sit here and say, oh, with that kind of contract, they got to win the Super Bowl right away, blah, 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 blah. No. Everybody just calm down. Everybody sit down, relax. Jerry built this team a certain way.
To
All
fail.
right?
Yeah.
Now you see. Take a step back and look at it. He went out, made the big trade for Cooper.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You draft Gallup. Lots of upside, and he's turned out to be great.
Keep Gallup.
You draft CeeDee Lamb, who has a ton of potential.
We'll see.
Now you got Dak back there. You locked up Ezekiel Elliott is one of the better backs in the league.
When he's not fat.
Now you got to make sure you can draft well this year and hopefully get some replacements for the offensive line to keep Dak upright. What you did there was you got young guys who could perform at a high level. All right? That's the offense. The offense is set. I don't want to see no more offensive players being drafted. There's
Unless
no
Kyle
reason.
Pitts.
Unless they're playing offensive line, it better be defense because whether it was the scheme or the players, I don't know. All right? So the secondary played horrifically,
That's an understatement.
as well as the linebacking core they were just bad.
Your guy Wolf Hunter. Wolf Hunter.
Then
He'll be fine.
all of a sudden they got halfway decent. Now, was it that they bought into whatever kind of plan was being enforced? I don't know. I still think we need a safety for sure.
100%.
I would love another linebacker because
100%.
it's just Jalen Smith, and Van Der Esch is looking like, I really hate to say it, but he's looking like Sean Lee 2.0. Kid is a
That's
beast on
fair.
the field,
Yeah,
but can
Fair
he stay
assessment.
on the field?
fair assessment.
It's been in question the last couple seasons now, and
Fair.
it's getting a little frustrating. All right, so you want to probably address the linebacker area, and you want to get into secondary. Maybe you could sign one of these free agents. I don't know how much money's going around. I don't know what's left for them for the
get
cap.
Earl Thomas out of
I
prison.
don't really pay attention to that shit. My expectation for this team is to be a division winner, number one.
Oh, that
Number
should be
two,
by default.
I expect them to go, fairly deep in the playoffs. Do I expect a Super Bowl this year? Realistically, no. Realistically, no.
Okay.
Because I just don't see it happening right away. You know, Dak was hurt last year. You know, you hope he comes back and he's as good as he was prior to going out. But, you know, there's so many different things that have to go right for the Cowboys, all right? You got to hope that the defense can play a hell of a lot better than they did last year.
Yeah,
I'm not asking them to be a top 5 defense. We don't need that. You got enough offense. You can score on anyone. You can go toe-to-toe with almost any of these guys.
Yeah.
You need a halfway decent defense that can play well. All right? Look at the Bucks. Their defense was okay for most of the year. Then at the end, they just got hot. You know, this is what you need, and you need your defense to perform in big moments, and they let them down. They let them down almost all season, and it was a shame. It was a shame that, you know, as a fan, we were given false hope at the end there, where they had a chance for the division and all this shit. Like, I don't know. I think so. In the 4 years now for Dak going forward, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to say I see at least one Super Bowl, but I don't know. 4 years is a small window when you're talking about, you know, all these other players that are going to wind up having contracts that are going to be up and going to need to bring in more people. Does he restructure? Like, who? I don't know. I don't know. Do I think that can win us one? Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be on his first 4 years here or towards the end of his career, if he resigns with us after these 4 years are up. I don't know. But I do expect them to be a much, much better team this year. I mean, until Tom retires, I really don't know who else to pick out of the NFC, to be honest with you. I mean, he's a freak of nature, and he's surrounded by probably the best team he's ever been a part of, including that undefeated team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to say that I see them winning one, but I don't know how
Randy
soon
Moss
or
as an
how
equalizer
far
is a
away
lot
it's
Yeah,
going
but
to be.
you
Not
couldn't
prime.
name anybody on that defense.
But I think they'll be one of the top teams in the NFC for years to come for sure.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
So that was John,
Very,
a
very-
bit alone, long-winded. I thought it was 2 minutes. That was like 6. But no,
he had some shit to get off his chest.
yeah,
He wasn't cursing, so
he
was
you know, he
corny.
kept it authentic. He didn't get too crazy.
He kept it too PG for me.
So this would be the last thing on Dak. So, Mr. Ransom, you know what? No, Mike McCartney, I'll go to you first.
Oh,
Do you think the Cowboys will win a Super Bowl within the 4 years of Dak Prescott's first contract?
No, I think Jerry's gonna fuck it up somehow.
Wow.
All right. Simple enough. Mr. Ransom.
I really agree with what he just said. I mean, I really fucking agree with that, because if there's anybody that's going to do it, it's going to be him. Yeah, Jerry will find some way to screw this all up. Be it get rid of a guy that we need or not get a guy that we really need. Is it okay? You asked me, do you think they'll do it, or is it possible? Because there's two different things. I think it is, and anything's possible, yes. But is it really in reality possible? Yes, I think it's in reality possible. With their talent currently constructed to win a Super Bowl, they're one of 7 teams that in the league that it's in the realm of real possibility to win a Super Bowl. Yes, will it happen? Unless Jerry steps way back or calms way down, I don't see it happening. Much as I'd like to.
Yeah, I agree. I think Super Bowl, I don't see it. I want to see it, but I don't.
Oh, me too.
And just being brutally honest, like, even if we have the best roster, something will go wrong. Like it'll be a scandal. Zeke did something, or you know.
Zeke's due for a suspension.
Vander Esch, he's on HGH. Something will go wrong.
He's like a deer antler.
Yeah, something would go wrong.
You know,
so that'll prevent us from winning the Super Bowl. But I do think we should be playoff bound next season. I think we should have the potential to win a home playoff game. Texas,
Absolutely.
they've lifted all bans on on COVID bans,
On
so they'll
everything, yo,
they'll
Texas
have a full stadium for a playoff
Texas
game.
is a wild
And
place,
then-
bro.
That they better if they win, they ain't going anywhere because that whole stadium's getting quarantined.
Yeah, yeah. So
They're just gonna close the doors and let them live in
Yeah,
there
so I
like
think-
a Hurricane Katrina.
So I think the Cowboys, they should be good next year. We'll see what happens in the draft. We'll see what happens in free agency. But as far as the Super Bowl, I don't see it. I hope I'm wrong, but I just do not see it.
I agree. Maybe what do you think about NFC Championship game in the next 4 years? I think that's a lot more attainable, and I think that's a lot more possible.
I think that's possible because like if we end up with like a bye number 1 seed, have everything run through Dallas. Like if we're the
or
one
we
seed,
get a real easy first playoff
yeah.
game.
If we're the 1 seed, all we gotta do is win 1 game, and we're right there. So
yeah.
That's probably a better option or a better like realistic option. But as far as the Super Bowl, because then we have to go probably play the Chiefs, and then that's a nightmare. So yeah. All right, so round of applause to Dallas, man. We spent long enough on them.
Mazel tov, Dak Prescott. Get your money.
There was some other NFL news. We could run through this real quick. Jalen Hurts, he's been announced that he's the Philadelphia Eagles guy.
He's still going to draft a quarterback.
Good morning, Philadelphia.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful day in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I am very, very happy about that.
They say it's always sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm also happy that they'll be paying Carson Wentz more money not to play for them than the Cowboys will be paying Dak to play for them, so that's good.
Yes.
Other stuff, Chris Godwin, franchise tagged. Other guys that were not franchise tagged, which was interesting, Kenny Galladay of the Lions, Aaron Jones of the Packers. I don't know what the Lions are doing. I guess they're going to break it down to a very, very fine powder. Like, yo, we're going to break this down, but we still got Jared Goff on the roster. So I don't know what they're doing. But Kenny Galladay is a free agent. I'm pretty sure he'll be picked up. In my opinion, he probably should go to a team like the Packers or
Packers ain't spending no money on nobody.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because
they don't pay.
Aaron Rodgers, playing at an MVP level still, and they won't do the extra stuff to get them to the championship level again because the Bucs, they went all out. Like they signed AB fresh out of prison. They
fresh off the chain gang.
They got Gronk out of retirement. Like they did all this stuff, and I'm pretty sure players that players would want to play with Green Bay if they went after them.
But it's not a destination, though.
It's not a destination. It's cold.
Definitely not and it's not even as
not
cold.
even a
Like, 'cause
market,
New England,
like-
New England is cold. Buffalo's cold. Seattle's crap weather all year.
raining all the time.
But it's still, there's still destinations because
Chicago
of
is cold as hell, but it's a market.
it's still a market. Like, just Green Bay is not a market, and they're run by committee. They're the only team in the league run by committee, and that's why they have never been able to land any big free agents. They just were not willing to spend, and they're not willing to. They can't agree on spending a lot of money on one player. That's just it's gonna be why I think Aaron Rodgers retires with 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah. Other news: Giants tag Leonard Williams.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. See if they can get a long-term deal with them.
Okay.
He's improved a lot. I thought he was a bust with the Jets, but
He definitely was.
yeah. So another stain on Adam Gase's career, pretty much. Russell Wilson. We'll see what happens with him. I know
I don't think he's going anywhere.
The Seahawks sent out their a video or a letter to all to all their season ticket holders that didn't put Russell Wilson on there, which is
Remember,
the same thing happened with Dak.
The Cowboys did that too. That's just all, you know what I mean?
But I mean,
he ain't going nowhere.
It was like legitimate questions about like Dak, is he going to franchise tag or whatever? Russell is signed.
Yeah, he's under contract. Like they just.
Well, I think behind the scenes, the deal with the Dak deal was already not agreed to, but they already had conceded a long time ago. But obviously, Jerry's not gonna immediately come out and say that. They're just gonna do it whenever he wants.
Jerry's
to do
not
it.
gonna say we're trash.
Yeah, he's not gonna be like, yeah, I fucked up and I fucked this all up. We gotta pay him. But like, yeah, but Russell was already established and signed and the face of the franchise and a Super Bowl winner and the whole 9 yards. So it is a different situation for them just to leave him out. Like I heard like one of the assistant coordinators was named in the letter, but
yeah, like
Russell Wilson wasn't
really like the face of the franchise is left out. So somebody's playing games, and
that's the organization though. After John Snyder died,
yeah, somebody's playing games. So we'll see what happens with that. Other news: Emmanuel Sanders released.
Tell him to come to the Cowboys for a 1-year, $1,500 deal.
$1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah, so
and all the barbecue you can eat.
free agency starts next week. So the cap is going down from 198 million down to 182.5 million, all due to COVID. So we'll see a lot of big name players get released over the week. Hopefully they can sign on with another team, but it's probably going to be for significantly less money than what they're anticipating. So it could be an option for the Cowboys to bargain bin shopping like they always do in free agency. So hopefully we can get something, get a player that is, that should be paid well above than what he's being paid. That's what Jerry Jones does. Like he'll bargain bin shop with the best of them. So
yeah. Sometimes he has luck with it. Would you take Von Miller when he gets released by the Broncos?
Well, I think he's done with all his legal issues. So if that's the case, yes, bring him in.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So you would take on Von Miller? You would further increase his ability to do what he did before again?
Well, the charges were dropped.
The charges were dropped.
No charge.
No,
bro. Same thing with OJ.
No charge.
No charge.
Bro, no.
You
must
have quit.
Yo, you don't understand what I'm saying. We saw those text messages.
Yeah.
So all right. So
the
text
messages were bad. Can't lie.
That was
no.
He didn't write those. He didn't write those though.
Yeah, it was his brother.
Allegedly.
His brother. So this is a great segue to what I was going to wait to say later on in the podcast, but I've been saying now.
Yeah, bring it up.
All right. So we did a Health is Wealth episode about protected women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shiz has scoured Twitter for the last 3 weeks, finding every bad video and posted it in a group chat. Like, oh, so we gonna protect her?
No,
what about her?
First of all, I'm just on my daily timeline, just scrolling the news
on Twitter,
looking for the daily news.
The daily news.
I see, Hove sells title. I see, Timberland and Swiss, they sell Versus to Thriller, whatever, and then all of a sudden I see a girl in the Uber spitting on a driver. So. I'm just wondering, like,
hey, you gotta protect her, man. You gotta protect her.
So I'm just wondering,
I'm just wondering,
like,
yo, she's just young and misguided. You still gotta.
I was being facetious. If somebody spits on me, I'm booting you out of my car. Boot first, like I'm gonna give you that Shawn Michaels kick out of the car, like.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
it's his defense. He found some videos that I feel like females around the world need to answer for.
So All-Star Weekend, we could talk about it. We see
it's partying in U-Haul vans.
We see a stripper with no legs.
Wait, whoa.
He put that in a group chat.
I must have missed that. Was this yesterday? Because I wasn't really on yesterday.
Oh yeah, I said to.
Wait, there was a stripper with no legs.
Well, she had it down to just above the kneecaps, and then it was just dogs.
Yo,
and then also we had
Twitter is the Wild Wild West.
We had we had another woman that went to All-Star Weekend, but didn't have enough money to get back home, so she started to GoFundMe to get back home and pay the rent.
And paid her for 4 months.
I'm sure she did that. You know what I mean? There's always someone willing to contribute. You know what I mean?
Yo, but so
a charitable gentleman. Like there's always somebody out there.
So Shiz is right. Like we need answers for this. Like how can us as men protect you? We out here for this buffoonery. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a certain standard you got to uphold yourself to. If you want, if you want me to, stand up for you, take these bullets from you. Like I can't go into our employer and say, yo, we need equal pay when he goes on Twitter and sees you on stage dancing for money without legs.
But you know what? Out of all of the situations,
she's a lap dance specialist. Oh man.
Stop it.
Man.
You might go to jail. You might go to jail.
I mean,
stop it. Get some help.
Yeah.
But she was just trying to earn some money. She's just trying to make. She's just trying to earn an honest living. She's
trying to earn an honest living. She could work at a call center and sit on all day.
That's true too. But she could probably make $1,000 in 10 minutes. So,
but you know what? That shows you that there's some sick people in this world that are going to want.
Who wants to see that?
No, there's some sick people.
You saw the video. It was a whole lot of money on that floor. So
that's real.
Did she run in? I'm sorry, she didn't run in, but did she like hobble in at the end?
I don't know, but there was money on that floor.
She might have that. She probably got that upper body strength though. That's the thing.
Yeah, mad curls. Like she probably mad strong.
I'm telling you, that's the lap dance specialist. When you go up in there, like she got her own little section. They just wheel her in.
All right, cool. So then, what about the girl that went to All-Star Weekend, knowing what it's about? COVID probably all over the place.
Yeah.
Because then she quit her job to go down there or something like that.
See, I didn't read that part, but
she
possibly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you went to All-Star Weekend to get chose, didn't get chose. Now you started GoFundMe. Like,
I'm sure she got home though and got that money.
I'm pretty sure she got home. Like, you know.
My thing is,
wait, did she look good? Did she look good though?
No.
She was, she wasn't ugly. She was like a 6.
All right, now you got
goddamn money.
Yeah, you got.
But my
thing
is,
keep your money in your pocket.
The thing, I think she already had the money. She just came up with a sob story to get more money. I think, because who in their right mind goes down there and doesn't have money to get home?
Oh man, you got too much faith in people. I'm pretty sure she was dead broke. She went to a club, spent way more money, or went to a strip club and tried to go to the ATM and caught that $200 fee. Don't ask me how I know about that. And then that was that.
That's some Vegas strip clubs.
I don't know, man, but that was protect women. Like every time this just protect women. That's it, man.
Did you guys see the one about the chicks that they were partying in the U-Haul van? Like they literally rented a van and parked it in a lot. And
trying to get chose, my brother. That's all.
Like I said, I literally go on 15. I go on Twitter for 15 seconds. Because if I go for 16, I'm gonna see something that's gonna fuck my whole day up.
So wait, Todd, if you walk by and you saw that van rocking, would you come a knocking?
Hell no! I mean, what the fuck is going on in there? I would think I would think they're terrorists in there. I would go with a full military move.
All right,
and fucking shoot everybody in there.
Wow! All right.
What the hell's going on out here?
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, let's transition into the actual All-Star Weekend.
Okay. That was probably the best part of All-Star Weekend.
Did you guys watch anything from the day? Like I pretty much watched everything.
Dunk contest.
The dunk contest was so. I mean, my guy Obi Toppin was in it, but he lost. But man, like you can't get a starter.
Yeah.
Not even like a superstar. We can't get a starter in the All-Star. I mean, in the dunk contest, which is just crazy. As far as the All-Star game in itself, Steph and Dame put on a show. Giannis won MVP. But, you can just tell the energy just wasn't there, and that's mostly due to the fans not being able to be there like they usually are.
Yeah.
And it's usually like a whole weekend. You'll see a lot of celebrities, a lot of events going on, but it was just limited to one day. So hopefully next year they can, regroup and, put a better product out there. It was really just like a money grab. I don't blame the leagues trying to get back as much money as possible, but the product wasn't really that great. Like Charles Barkley wasn't even there. He was at his daughter's wedding. Like it was just.
He ain't passing up a free cake and pork fried steaks at a wedding.
Yeah. It was crazy. So it was a Jewish wedding, and he was on with a I forget who he was on with, but I guess one of the traditions is where they have to lift, I guess, the bride's husband in the chair.
Yes.
And Charles Barkley said he had been in the gym or whatever trying to lose weight because he didn't want to hurt nobody when they tried to lift him up. So
he came at a trim 290.
Trim, yeah.
A slim 290.
Yeah, so that was All-Star Weekend. I ain't even going round of applause. I mean, I guess a little round of applause.
It's sad, but it's understandable due to the current climate.
But some other NBA news. Andre Drummond plans to go to the Nets. There's nothing official yet. But Blake Griffin did go to the Nets. They're trying to stack the deck to beat the Lakers. So that'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with Boogie Cousins. Yeah, man. NBA's getting ready to start back up. My Knickerbockers, they're fighting for a playoff spot.
Oh,
We're trying to do something, man.
Hope is alive in the
Julius
city that never
Randle,
sleeps.
first time All-Star, looking for a max contract, which is going to be wild, but he might get it.
He's definitely gonna get a max contract on the Knicks. That's a fact. That y'all haven't had a. When was the last time y'all had an All-Star? Wasn't Frank Ntilikina? Was it what about Frank Ntilikina?
Come on! Don't ever mention him in my presence again.
What about Big Bang Frank? What happened to Big Bang Frank?
He stinks.
Wow.
Our last All-Star was probably Melo, and that was like 5, 6, 7 years ago.
7 years ago, like. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Nah, but I told you, Shiz, it hurt me when we got rid of Julius Randle because I think it was.
Said it hurt me.
It did because we could. I told you, Shiz, we could definitely use him now. Like I know it's a couple of years removed, but like we definitely could use him, and I don't think they saw the potential in him in long view. But
y'all got rid of some talented players. Y'all got rid of D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram.
Russell had to go though.
Julius Randle.
Yeah, because Russell dry snitched on somebody, didn't he?
Yeah, he did on Swaggy.
But
Young.
he
did snitch. He snitched.
He did snitch. But the thing is, you trade those guys if you could get an Anthony Davis every single time. So it just is what it is.
Yeah, but no, but the Julius Randle thing was before. You know what I mean? Like if they had all those pieces, I think we held on to Kyle Kuzma every single time because we saw the most potential in him. I'm still a Kuzma guy. You know that. I still am holding out hope, but now it looks like maybe we got rid of the wrong guy. And we should have kept Randall and just kind of piece by piece shipped off the other guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Anything else left in the NBA? LeBron's trying to win MVP again. He's gonna have he has some competition. There's a couple other guys that are playing at a high level, like the Joker.
Harden.
Yeah, Harden is kind of like making a push, even though the way Harden started. Season in Houston, like they might not. It might be a bad luck to give him MVP because, like,
I was gonna say that
it's like, man,
luck.
you could show up to a team 30 pounds overweight and still win MVP.
I don't think he would get it unless he started averaging like 70 points a game. Which knowing him, he might try for. So but Dame is playing his tail off. But the problem with Dame is, and I kind of feel like these smaller market guys, they just never can get that. I mean, Giannis, Milwaukee definitely is a smaller market, but he's kind of different from Dame Lillard.
I think the problem with that is that they're not going to finish in the top of the West. Like, in order for Dame, if Dame was to win the MVP, they would have to finish like the 1 or 2 seed, and I don't think they might finish like 6.
Yeah, so. I'd love to see Dame Lillard win one the way he's been playing. Like nobody plays harder, and he's super talented.
Yeah. So, all right, round of applause for the NBA. All right, moving on to the real world. Texas, Mississippi, no more COVID laws.
It's Mississippi too?
Yeah, both of them. God. So you can go out there, no mask, full capacity, just live your life. COVID does not exist in those 2 states.
COVID does not exist in the great state of Texas.
We saw that baseball team, the Texas Rangers, they're getting ready to start their season. And they're going to have 100% fans, no mask.
Wow.
So
no mask?
Actually, no. I have to confirm the no mask part, but definitely 100%.
100% fans
capacity.
That's like
70,000
people.
So old Jerry is gearing up to do the same thing.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he is.
Bro, they're gonna have to shut down that state with how many people are running around, flying in there. Oh god. Well.
Yeah, because you have people flying into Texas.
Yeah, that's gonna be real
out
bad.
there with no mask could possibly contaminate Texas.
That's gonna be really bad. That's gonna be really, really bad. Like I love the Cowboys, but that's about to be extremely bad down there.
I don't even think they've even thought about that. Like, hey, let's open up the state. But what happens if somebody with COVID comes into the state and we're not? Yeah. No, you know what I'm saying?
Just goes to the game and starts coughing all over everybody, and then they start coughing all over.
Like, excuse me, ain't gonna prevent this COVID. So
excuse me.
Yeah, no, that's. I didn't know. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's Mississippi. Come on. Like,
but it does. The CDC did say that if you have been vaccinated, that you don't have to wear masks. So.
But everybody going to that game ain't gonna be vaccinated.
No, I 100% agree with that. But I'm just saying, like, this just might put more emphasis on people to get the vaccine. So, like, you can avoid the nonsense. Like at this point, once these states start, like even like New Jersey, like they're going to start, 50% capacity indoors. So we're just rising and rising. So in order to protect yourself, kind of, you don't have to get the vaccine, of course, but it just kind of puts more emphasis to get it. I mean, I've been, 50-50 on it, but at the way these states are opening it up and, the laws are starting to ease, like, I think I'm going to just get it just so I can just know that, I'll be all right. Somebody start coughing and shit around me, but I don't know, man. What are you guys' thoughts on the vaccine as these states start to open up more?
I'm on the list to get it from my job. So,
I mean, I can go get it now. But I have to do so for work. I have to do this report every week that shows in Burlington County the number of cases and the number of deaths. It goes up every week.
Yep.
So COVID is still out there. People are still dying from it. I don't know if it just hasn't been a long enough time for the vaccine to be in circulation and be in enough people to slow the curve. But yeah, people are still dying. And I don't think if people have the vaccine and they die even if they have the vaccine or get sick, I don't think they're going to tell you. I don't think they're going to be like, hey, well, we got 15 cases.
You're probably right about that.
Of people with COVID and they got the vaccine. They're not going to tell you that.
Yeah, that's the interesting part because, like, some of these vaccines claim to be like, low 90s in percentage of being effective. And, if people are still getting it and dying, that's really cause for concern. But we really haven't seen much of that in the news. Hopefully the vaccine just works.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna say, the vaccine's ineffective, because that would mean that we'd have to go into lockdown again and everybody would start freaking out. So they're gonna have to at least keep, if it's not working, they're gonna have to keep it as quiet as possible for as long as they possibly can.
Kept.
Yeah, so I know a couple people who have gotten it. I know one person that got pretty sick on the second round when they got the second vaccination, but other than that, like, everyone who's gotten that I know has been completely fine.
Yeah, 3 of my coworkers gotten it, and they all been fine so far. So
yeah,
that's a good sign.
Yeah, are you gonna get his shiz?
I think I am because, like I said, I'm just, I don't trust. I trust myself, but I just don't trust other people. And other people might have bad intentions. Like, who knows, man? Like, I was in the mall like 2 weeks ago, just standing in the line getting ready to cash out. And some dude walks up right next to me to try to offer me a coupon. Like, dude, back up. Like, why are you up on me like that?
Yeah.
Like 6 feet. So I just don't trust people, man. And more than likely when the opportunity comes, I'm going to get it. I've been checking like the CVS website, been, talking to people that have gotten it, see if they can get me on some type of list. So
see if they give you some type of list.
Yeah, give me on some type of list, man. Because I like I said, I'm just tired of the nonsense, and I just don't trust people. So if I have the opportunity to get it, I'm gonna just get it. I know I was a proponent against it, but
I mean, you can go in the military
changed.
and get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I
sneak on that base.
Like,
No, you
I work for
join. You got to enlist.
I work for a military contractor, and these people know people. So
then y'all ain't getting it. Y'all ain't getting it that way.
They got it though, so who knows?
They didn't get it from us.
No, I'm just saying, like, they might know people that work somewhere or whatever. That their job is to talk to people, so they just know people that know people. So
yeah, they could have got it. Yes, they didn't get it from.
No, I'm not saying they got it from the military. I'm saying they got it from somebody that they knew from wherever.
Oh, okay, yeah. They got it. They got it from Ching Chong, who made it in his basement.
Ching Chong.
Yeah, see, I'm not that desperate.
Nah.
Yeah, but all right. Is there anything else? Any new music you guys listening to? Anything you guys up to? Anything playing?
I've been listening to that Jim Jones a lot. The Fraud Report.
Yeah, it was good.
I gave that a couple listens.
It wasn't as hot as I'd hoped it was gonna be for some reason. Like, I think
the beginning is really good. Then it kind of tailors off for me at the end, towards the end.
Yeah. Currency put out a new tape like a couple weeks ago.
He puts out music all the damn time.
Yeah.
Like,
I listened to it. It was good.
Yeah, if you heard one Currency mixtape, you heard them all at this point.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's
the thing.
Yeah,
oversaturation.
That's So putting out new music all the time is good, but then it kind of just gets lost. Like,
you're like,
there's nothing
he had
memorable.
another one. Like,
There's nothing memorable. It's just like music. Like
if you played his last 5 releases back to back, you couldn't tell which was on which or what song was on what or which. It just all sounds good, but it all sounds the same. So it's a good problem and a bad problem all at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, like I listened to the little Drake stimulus pack.
I listened to that.
I listened to that a couple times. No, I thought it was good. I was surprised. I was very surprised.
Man.
Drake's a real rapper.
To who? And Canada doesn't count.
To all of our listeners in Canada.
Canada and everywhere abroad.
Especially and everywhere abroad. Yes.
How can I forget?
Everywhere but Canada counts.
Wow.
So, Taim, I know you don't listen to R&B music. See, have you heard of?
I do listen to R&B, but I don't listen.
Have you heard of
new R&B?
Have you heard of that new group Silk Sonic, which is Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak?
Yeah, it was good. It was very throwbackish.
Yeah, I think that might be something, man. I listened to that song quite a bit over the weekend, and it just sounds like very, very well. Just sounds good. Like I was very, very pleased with the song.
It's I think it's designed to sound vintage. Like
so if you listen to Bruno's last album, 24K Magic, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It was literally a throwback album of like a combination of like 70s and 80s music, just like not remix, but just like given a modern sound. And since Bruno can actually sing, like it just sounded like a really good album. Like my family like loves that album. Like every time I go to like Fifth Ave, like that album is just on from somebody. So yeah.
Well, you got Butch is listening to the Bruno Mars?
No.
Yeah, he is actually.
Wow.
like he.
You know what? I respect Butch for expanding his horizons.
Yeah, beyond Michael Jackson. This is the
shout out to Butch.
This is his newest artist listening to is Michael Jackson.
But you know what? You know what? That album is definitely an homage to like to Mike's heyday though. Like
absolutely
that little mid '80s run that he went on. Like absolutely is top to bottom. It's even like 9 or 10 songs, just like those albums back then were. There was only 10 songs, 5 songs on each side of the record. Like that, because that was the maximum amount of stuff they could get on it. So, yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I liked Anderson .Paak. I liked him on every. I've liked him on every project he's been on.
Guac.
I'm not sure. Is that the Spanish guy? Is that his? Is that?
Nah, he's mad talented. Like
he really is.
He make good music, man. Like
I drink some beer. I'm gonna chill out before I say something wild.
Yeah. So, all right, round of applause for new music, man. Round of applause. All right, so if there was nothing else, that was episode 120 in the books. You can find us on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel, Second and One Podcast. Also, if you have any inquiries, you got any questions, you got any sound bites you want us to play on air, send all of that to info@secondandone.com. We're getting ready. The clocks go forward this weekend. It's getting a little warmer in New Jersey.
It is getting warmer, which is
a little
crazy.
bit warmer. So hopefully winter is over. We had a rough patch in February, but as we enter into mid-March and March Madness is coming up, hopefully things get better. NBA is getting ready to pick up into high gear. NFL free agency, NBA trade deadline is coming. NFL draft is coming. So, this time last year, everything was getting shut down. Literally. This time, we're in a much better place with the vaccine. Even though people still wilding, like the vaccine is out there. Things are starting to open up, which is good. I saw an ice cream truck today. So, everything is like starting to get back to normal. So, yeah, man. If there's nothing else, you guys got any final remarks, man? Dak, I'm glad you're back. Jerry, Stephen Jones, I'm glad you got it done.
Stop it.
Shiz, you know what? There's so much I could say right now, but you know what?
Go ahead, man.
I'm glad you saw the light, Shiz. It takes a man to admit when he was wrong, and you did. So I let's come together as Cowboy fans.
Yeah, let's get back on one accord here.
It's been 2 long years of a battle. Like
it's exactly.
Let's go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Dak, hopefully you're fully healthy, and
he will be.
Get out there, light it up. Zeke, hopefully he come into camp in shape, and things are just going to open up for him. regardless,
he's not.
because Dak and hopefully we get a good draft pick. If Kyle Pitts is available, might have to take him.
That's a new triplets if they get him, boy.
Oh my goodness, that would be crazy. But we got time for that. But all right, if there's nothing else, this is the Second One podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll get with you guys next time.